Okay, so we got a different activity this week from this book, the Sermon on the Mount. And it says, most of Jesus' teaching took place outdoors. It is difficult to envision some of the examples Jesus used in Matthew 6, verses 25 through 34, if you are sitting in your house or in a church building. This is an activity to overcome this obstacle. So we're basically just going to go look outside and notice all the living messages about God's care for us. And this moment I'm going to take my cell phone. I'm going to take my keys. And we're going to go outside and look around. So at first glance, one, it's warm outside, so I can actually enjoy the outdoors without getting sick. There's trees there. You see we got a big parking space over here, and we got a big building, but despite what man does to God's creation, there's still room for trees to grow. Isn't that right? And despite the cigarette butts and trash and straws, we still got and gum. We still got pine straw too. I'm going to take a little walk away. We got the blinding light to show us that God still wakes us up every day. We're not dead. And another tree, a nice little house, showing that not everything has to be corporate. And here is the Dollar Genearl. Dollar Genearl. And nobody's smoking today. It means God's protecting my lungs. I'm surprised there's no grass growing through some of this concrete. And this shows God's care, because in case we forget something. In case we forget something, we can go to the Dollar Genearl and pick something up, like batteries or paper plates or cups. And another good thing is there's this escape hatch that goes right back into the office building. Oh, here's a plant. See, despite all the building, we've still got room for trees. And there's other people here. It means we got people unwittingly in our church. And here we are back at the office. There's the bathroom and the water fountain, so in case you're thirsty you can have something to drink. Here I am back in the office. I'll pick up my, quote, tripod, unquote. And it's actually a box of Legos. And turn me around. There we go. And we're back. And so we got God taking care of creation. And we're going to turn to Matthew 6. Matthew chapter 6. Alright, it says, therefore I tell you, do not worry about your life, what you will eat or drink, or about your body, what you will wear. Is not life more important than food, and the body more important than clothes? Look at the birds of the air. They do not sow or reap or store away in barns, and yet your heavenly Father feeds them. Are you not much more valuable than they? Who of you by worrying can add a single hour to your life? And why do you worry about clothes? See how the lilies of the field grow and grow and grow? Alright, they do not labor or spin, and yet I tell you that not even Solomon in all his splendor was dressed like one of these. If that is how God clothes the grass of the field, which is here today, and tomorrow is thrown into the fire, how much more will he clothe you, O you of little faith? So do not worry, saying, what shall we eat, or what shall we drink, or what shall we wear? For the pagans run after all these things, and your heavenly Father knows that you need them. But seek first his kingdom and his righteousness, and all these things will be given to you as well. Therefore do not worry about tomorrow, for tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Amen. And so, yeah. And so, I close the Bible right when we're about to ask questions from it. But it says, what is the first bold commandment of Jesus in this passage? And that would be, don't worry. It would be serenity now. Relax. It's like, you don't have to worry about these things. I know exactly what you need, and I know that you shouldn't be worrying about this stuff. I know you need gas to get to Loganville twice a week. I know you need a job. I know you need someone taking care of you and to not be alone in the world. But right now, that's all you do is worry about that stuff, and you still don't have any of that. Just sit and relax and let me take care of you. So that's what he's saying. That's amazing. That's his main command, is don't worry. And so what examples does Jesus use to show us God cares about our need for food? And then, I like Mark Driscoll's take. It's like he's a hippie or something. He's like, look at the birds of the air. Look at the birds. They do not sow or reap, and yet they have all the food they need. They don't hoard away in barns. They got food, man. And what about our need for clothes? Consider the lilies. Yeah. Consider the lilies. They don't spin or labor, yet their clothes are much better than anything New York could put out. And so, yeah. And what do you think Jesus is trying to say to us when he compares our needs with those of the birds and flowers? It's like, look, they just sit there and I give them everything they need. Now, does that mean we should stop working and just sit and take welfare? No. Someone needs to pay for those tax money. And so, but God's going to hand you what you need. He's not going to let you starve unless it's his time to take you to heaven. And then according to verse 30, what is it we lack when we worry? And he says, "Oh, you have little faith." So we don't have any faith because we worry too much. We worry, and it means we put all our thoughts and thinking into something we don't have when we could all put it all onto Jesus. Instead of worrying, we need to meditate on Jesus. And I love the advice in verse 34. Do not worry about today, because today has enough trouble of its own. So yeah, so don't worry. Serenity now.